Okay, all right. Welcome to Sunday morning yoga church. It's October something, October 8th. And depending on where you are, latitudinally, I guess that's it. Yeah, latitudinally, you're either full on in vata season or you're still kind of making your way through the shoulder season from summer through fall. And what happens now in the northern hemisphere, anyway, I should specify, what happens now is from the Ayurvedic perspective, the vata dosha begins to reign supreme, and the elements that make up the vata dosha are air and space. So we see it happening in the elements outside, the leaves getting crispy and crunchy and falling, the wind picking up a little bit, the atmosphere getting more subtle, temperatures cooling and becoming more brisk. So all of the qualities of vata are starting to take over. And from the Ayurvedic perspective, there's a principle of opposites, which states like increases like and opposites balance. Therefore, hi, Sophie. Therefore, if we want to balance the vata dosha during this time of year, we want to start favoring practices that are more earthy, more grounding, more stabilizing through the pelvis, the hips, the femurs, and the legs. From a culinary perspective, we want to start favoring and emphasizing grounding foods, all of your root vegetables, earthy foods. Everything from this point forward should be well cooked and well spiced. No more raw foods, no more salads. Anyway, so today, once you wrap your head around the 3 doshas in Ayurveda, then you get to go even deeper and explore the 5 subdoshas of each dosha. And that's kind of like a total mind blower. So we'll just suffice it to say that vata has 5 subdoshas. We call them the 5 winds or the 5 vayus, which means wind. And there's one particular wind that moves downward. It's called apana vayu. And this is the wind that is responsible for elimination. So not just like elimination of our bowels and our bladder, but ladies, menses, childbirth. I mean, we're just like anything that we're kind of like pushing down and out. That's the trajectory of apana vayu, down and out. So our practice today, we're going to start standing, and then we're going to start going lower and lower and lower, emphasizing this down and out movement. So expect your AD adductors to get some love, your hips to get some love, and yeah, that's it. And then we'll end up on the ground. We'll end up at the earth element, full on and full force. You will need, if you've got it handy, you will need a block. All right, that's all I've got to say about that. Let's dive in and see how this rolls. So we're going to begin standing. And most of our practice today is going to be done laterally. So you can face the long edge of your mat. And if that means you want to take a minute to turn your mat a bit, you, boo. And then we're going to begin standing in Tadasana. You just set your block down to the ground. Hi, Sonia, glad you made it. You just need a block today. So starting in Tadasana, mountain pose, anchoring through the 4 corners of both feet. And you can close your eyes if that feels good, if that feels balanced for you. And feel the mat underneath your feet, the cushiness of your mat, the stickiness of your mat. Spread your toes. Shift your weight over into your left leg, into your left foot. And then shift your weight over into your right foot, into your right leg. And then glide back through center, grounding yourself in mountain pose. anchored through the feet. Begin hugging the muscles of your legs around the bone, almost as though you could embrace the femur bones with the muscles of the thighs, the quads, the hams, the adductors, abductors. And a slight engagement to your glutes, a little engagement to your lower abdomen. And already begin to feel steady and powerful. And from this place of being super stable, from the pelvis down, as you take your next breaths in, use those inhalations to pull your ribs up and expand your ribs laterally with every inhalation. And turn your palms so they face forward. And begin using those inhalations now to also lift your sternum up, and imagine you could expand your sternum laterally. Every exhalation, go back down into the feet. And every in-breath, lifting and expanding, broadening your collarbones across your upper chest, and every exhale staying anchored and steady. Great. And bring your palms together at your heart. And you're welcome to keep your eyes closed for this or open them. We're going to challenge the balance just a couple of minutes here. I want you to shift your weight into your left foot, left leg. And then pick your right knee up. We're not going to go too high, just enough to get the right foot off the floor, maybe an inch, maybe two. But I want you to be mindful if your left hip went swinging out to the left. Pull the left hip towards the midline. You can open your eyes. You can use a wall. You can use a chair, the back of a sofa to assist. And then step your right foot down. Enjoy how good it feels to be on both feet. Spread your toes. And shift your weight over into your right leg, strong and steady. And then when you feel ready, draw your left knee up, picking your left foot up, maybe an inch, maybe two, not too high. Being mindful of the right hip. Belly firm. Still expanding up and out through the ribs. And then step down. Beautiful. I want you to softly clasp your fingers together. Again, you can keep your eyes closed if you'd like. When you inhale and your ribs expand, let your elbows float out to the sides and slightly up. And on the exhalation, take your arms and knuckles forward, stretching your arms forward and bring your chin to your chest. Inhale, spin your palms forward, take your arms up. Exhale, return your palms to your heart in Namaskar Mudra. Good, we're going to do that again, changing the interlace of your fingers, breathing in as the ribs expand, the elbows float out and up. Exhale, chin down, arms come forward, broadening your upper back. And spin your palms forward, inhale, take your arms up overhead. Push up through the mound of your index fingers. And then exhale, bring your hands back to your heart. Okay, so we're just going to add on to that. As you inhale and the elbows float out, I want you to drop your hips into an Utkatasana. Doesn't have to go too low. And when you exhale, you're going to stand up straight, take your arms forward, chin down. Just going to kind of pump the aquifers a little bit, pumping the aquifers of the knees and hips. And then inhaling, arms go up, palms go up, knees bend, coming into Utkatasana. Exhale, straighten your legs, return your hands to your heart. Great, that's it. We're going to do that another time. Good. Inhale, Utkatasana, elbows float up. Exhale, standing straight up, arms forward, chin down. Spin your palms, inhale, arms up. Sink into Utkatasana. And exhale, standing up straight and strong, hands to your heart, beautiful. Bring your arms down to your sides. Staying in Tadasana in the legs, I want you to bring your right hand to the back of your head. So there's a contact there. Take a full breath in, lifting through your sternum, and we're gonna side bend over to the left on the exhale. Let your left hand slide down the outside of your left leg, good. Left hand slides down, push your head into your hand. Good. Slowly lift yourself up to vertical. Bring your right arm down. Place your left hand to the back of your head. Make contact. Vata always needs contact. Inhale deeply. Then we're going to side bend over to the right. Just inch your right fingertips down the outside of your right thigh. Sliding down the leg. Good. Taking your left elbow back and dropping your head further into your hand. Excellent. On an inhale, slowly rise back up. Exhale, bring your left arm down. We're going to go back to that breath. But now I want you to take a step out, not too wide, but a step out with your feet for temple or goddess pose. So a little bit of an external rotation in your feet. And then here we go. As you inhale, the fingers clasp gently, elbows lift, bend the knees coming into goddess. Exhale, straighten the legs, arms forward, chin down. Spin your palms, inhale, arms up, sink into your hips into goddess pose again. Exhale, stand up slow and strong, hands come to your heart. Good, let's do that a few more times. Always changing the interlace of your fingers. Breathing in, elbows up, hips down, knees bend. Breathing out, arms forward, legs straighten. Spin the palms, inhale, arms up, squat low. Good, and exhale, hands to your heart. Let's do that 2 more times. Good. Inhale, elbows, drop into your hips. Nice and good. And then legs straighten, exhale, chin down. Spin your palms, inhale, arms up. And hands come back to your heart, exhale, always keeping that contact. Good, 1 more time. Breathing in, sinking and rising simultaneously, sinking into the hips and knees, rising through the elbows, exhale, arms forward, straightening the legs. Good, palms up, inhale, sink low into the hips. And press into your heels to straighten your legs and bring yourself back up. Excellent. Bring your hands to your knees. Bending the knees, twisted goddess. On the inhalation, sternum rises up. When you exhale, dip your right shoulder down, look to the left. Breathing in, come back to center. Sternum rises. Breathing out, dip your left shoulder down and look to the right. Great, we're going to do that 3 more times for a total of 4. Keep rocking, keep rolling. Good, use your breath to dictate the movement, dictate the speed of movement. Slow is always better, especially when it comes to vata. Vata is fast, erratic, quick, easy to fatigue, quick to fatigue, I should say. So slow and deliberate is the name of the game. Vata is always also very airy and disconnected. So as often as we can this morning, we're going to keep hands connected to something, either palms together or hands to knees or to a block. Good, a total of 4 times. Dipping right, dipping left. Excellent, good. And when you've completed your last one, take your time. My God. When you've completed your last one, and then you straighten your legs. I want you to square your feet, grab your block. We're going to come into Padottanasana, so a little bit of a wider stance with your feet now, please. All right, great. So holding on to your block between your 2 palms, keeping the legs straight and strong. Breathing in, elbows float out and up. Breathing out, take your block forward, bring your chin down. Breathing in, take your block straight up. Anchor through your feet, lift through your arms and ribs, and breathing out, bring your block back to your chest. Okay, we're going to do that one more time. Inhale, float your elbows up, stretching the palms. Breathing out, send your block forward, and take your chin down. And then inhale, arms go up with the block. And then hands and block come to your heart, exhale. Beautiful. I want you to bring the block to your sacrum now. So the broadest face of the block is right against your sacrum. As you breathe in, drop the block low, like you're trying to drop it down below your buttocks. Take your head back if your neck is okay with that. Look up, a bit of a back bend. And on the exhalation, you're going to hinge at your hips, come halfway down, and let's pause at the halfway mark. Good, feel that great stretch through the adductors. Keep reaching your block back to the wall behind you as though it's a magnet trying to make its way to the refrigerator. Take one more breath. And on this exhalation, you're going to bow forward. The crown of the head comes towards the floor. And lift the block up away from your back. Take your block up towards the ceiling. Excellent. Push up dynamically through your arms, lifting, elevating the block up. Very nice. Bring the block to your sacrum. And then with one hand on the block, bring the block to the floor. And bring your fingertips to the floor. Allow your toes to move out towards the corners of your mat slightly so you're no longer pigeon-toed. Lateral lunges. On an exhalation, bend into your right knee, right hip. Remember, slow and steady is the name of the game. As you inhale, straighten that right leg, cross the center line so that on the exhalation, we're ready to bend into the left knee, left hip. Excellent. We're going to do that 3 more times for a total of 4. Smooth, smooth, smooth and fluid. Looks great, everybody. Don't rush, but when you reach your last round, the 4th round, I'm going to have you come over into your right knee, right hip one more time. Pause. Fingertips to the floor. Great. And then take your block, put it to the outside of your right heel. And then we're going to take a quarter turn to the right, turning your right toes towards the top of the sticky mat. Bring your left foot about a 45-degree angle in. Flip your block up to the second height. Bring your right fingertips to the block. And then you're going to sweep your left arm behind your back, making contact. So a variation of Parsva Konasana. Rather than taking the arm up and over, it's all about connection. Bring the left arm behind your back. Some of you might take your left fingertips to your right thigh. And then I'm going to have you look down to your right toes and breathe. So as you roll your left shoulder back, look down to the floor. Emphasizing the stretch through the left side of your neck. Good. Left shoulder back. Nice, Maxine. Good. Everybody could fire up that back leg. Just another skosh. Culinary term, skosh. We'll just take a skosh of cardamom. Let's take one more breath. Excellent. And then release your left hand from behind your back, fingertips to the floor. Slide your block over to the midline once more. And then we're going to make our way, quarter turn to the left, and then another turn to the left. And repeat the shape on the left side. So place the block to the outside of your left ankle. Put it on at least its second height. You might want to go to the tallest height today. You know, cut yourself some slack. It's Sunday. It's morning. Good. And then right arm will go behind your back, bending the elbow. Right hand might rest at the sacrum. Maybe it slides around a bit more. Notice if this arm is any different than the previous side. You have more or less mobility, more or less range of motion, more or less resistance. Where's the sensation? Good. And that back leg, that right leg is really your tether. So hug the sticky mat with all four corners of your right foot and zip up the inseam of the right leg. Good. Roll that right shoulder back and look down to your left toes. In fact, spread your toes. See the color of your sticky mat between each toe. Beautiful. Unwrap your right arm, bring your fingertips to the floor. Give yourself a quarter turn to the right, coming back into this wide-legged forward bend, Prasarita Padottanasana. Bring your hands to your waist. Draw your elbows together above your back. And then slowly rise up. Good. Bring your palms together. Let your toes and feet splay out just a little bit. And here we go, back to that breath that we've been doing throughout. Inhale, bend the knees, and the goddess, take your elbows up. Exhale, straighten legs, arms forward, chin down. Spin your palms, inhale, arms up. Knees bend. Exhale, hands back to your heart, straightening your legs. Good, let's go 3 more times. This is your vinyasa, your movement with breath. Inhale, squat low, elbows up. Exhale, straighten legs, arms forward, chin down. Spin your palms, inhale. Press up through the mound of your index fingers. And exhale, hands come back to your heart. Great, 2 more times. Inhale, pause, and pet the dog. Yeah, good stuff. Straighten legs, exhale, arms forward, chin down. Inhale, arms up, squat low. And exhale, hands to your heart 1 more time. Terrific. Point to square your feet. Hands come to your waist once again. This time, clasp your fingers together behind your back. As you inhale, drop your knuckles down below your tush, broadening the clavicles. Take your head back, look up. And when you exhale, bow forward, coming all the way down. Take your arms up and over, knuckles up to the ceiling. On your next inhalation, come halfway up, pausing just long enough to change the interlace of your fingers. And here we go again. Exhale, bowing forward, bowing reverently towards your feet, reverently towards the mat, reverently towards the earth. Beautiful. Release your fingertips to the floor. Come halfway up as you breathe in. We're going to take a quarter turn to the right once again. Find your block. And then bringing your block up to your chest, breathe in and lift yourself up, keeping your right knee bent, left leg straight. Turn your trunk a quarter turn to the left so you're prepped for warrior two. Okay, you're going to take the block into your left hand and extend your arms. This is your inhalation. As you exhale, sweep your left arm forward. Place the block into your right hand. Inhale, open your left arm back. Exhale, left arm forward. Take the block. Inhale, and take your left arm back. Your right arm stays static. Exhale, bring the block forward, place it into your right hand. Inhale, left arm back. Exhale, left arm forward, grab the block. Inhale, left arm back. Good, one more time. Exhale. Left arm forward, step the block into your right hand. Inhale, left arm back, really working the thoracic spine and the ribs. Exhale, left arm forward, pick up the block. And inhale, left arm back. Okay, exalted warrior, but rather again than having the right hand up loosey-goosey in the air, right hand in the back of your head. The block in your left hand connects with your left leg and begins to slide down towards your knee, maybe past your knee, as you open and expand your right ribs. Press your head into your hand. Good, head back, elbow back. Very nice on you. Good, one more breath. And then lift yourself back up to vertical. Bring your right arm down. Straighten your right leg and square your right toes. Bring the block in both hands to your chest. Full breath in. And when you exhale, we're going to bend forward, place the block to the floor. Good. I'm going to have you put the block underneath your left hand. Slide the block forward, off of your mat, onto the floor. And then take your right arm out to the right so it's parallel to the mat, breathing in. And as you exhale, sweep your right arm across your legs, grabbing a hold of the outside of your right knee, outside of your left knee, left shin, maybe the ankle. So it's a version of thread the needle. Legs are in Prasarita Padottanasana. Good, now get a good grip with your right hand. Left arm is extended forward, palm to the block. And then with your right hand gripping well, bend your elbow a little and see if you can't turn your sternum to the left a little more. If you're an anatomy nut, I want you to think about the inner border of your left scapula, the inner spine, the medial spine of the left scapula pulling into your spine, drawing into the midline. And wrapping your right scapula, your right shoulder blade around to the left. Good, look underneath your left arm. We're gonna take 2 more breaths, hang in there. Take your hips a little to the right. Yeah, very nice, Colorado, good, good, good. Excellent. And then I want you to release your right hand to the floor. Woo! Slide your block back to the mat, left fingertips to the floor. Great. Bring the block with you as you take a quarter turn to the left, turning your left toes to face the left short edge of the mat. Turning your right toes in slightly. Bring the block to your chest and slowly rise up. Good. Keeping your legs static. Left knee bent, right leg straight. Turn your trunk a quarter turn to the right. You're going to take the block in your right hand. Warrior 2, Virabhadrasana 2. Breathing in. Exhale. Bring the block forward. Set it into your left hand. Inhale. Right arm back, Warrior 2. Exhale. Right arm forward. Take the block. Inhale. Right arm back. Exhale, right arm forward, set the block in your left hand. Inhale, Warrior 2. Exhale, reach the right arm for the block. Left arm stays static. Inhale, Warrior 2. One more time. Exhale, set the block in your right and your left hand. Inhale, Vira 2. Exhale, reach forward. And inhale, Virabhadrasana 2. Place the block to your right thigh. Bring your left hand behind your head. And here we go, a version of Exalted Warrior. Sliding the block down the outside of your right leg. Pressing your head softly into your left hand, taking your head back, left elbow back. Beautiful. Great, hang in there, firm through your belly, static in that back leg. In fact, push that back leg into the block a little bit. Let's go 2 more breaths. We're almost there. So close to being done with the standing sequence. Good, and then bring yourself upright. Woo! Bring your left hand to your waist. Great. Straightening your left leg. Bring the block to your chest. Square your left toes. Finding your way back into this wide-legged stance. Breathing in. And then we're going to dip forward on the exhale. Bring the block to the floor. Place the block under your right hand. Slide the block forward so your right arm is extended, stretching forward. And then take your left arm out, horizontal to the floor, breathing in. And then we thread the needle, exhale, left hand reaches across, grabs a hold of the outside of the right shin. Maybe the ankle, maybe the outer knee, maybe the thigh. Maybe you just grab your pant leg. Good, and then spin your sternum to the right. Good, we're going to be here for a few breaths, so mind your breath. Good, a little bend into that left elbow. Look underneath your right armpit. Good, take your hips a little to the left. As you wrap your ribs to the right. Good, how about one more breath? Oh, release your left fingertips. Oh. Slide the block back towards the mat. Bring your right fingertips to the floor. Oh my goodness. It's about time to bring the legs together, don't you think? Bring the block with you. Bring the block to your chest, actually, and lift yourself all the way up. Oh, oh, oh. Good. Then I want you to spin your right heel in. Spin your left heel in. And then spin your right toes in. And then spin your left toes in. Just one step at a time. And now you can step your feet a little closer together. Good. Take the block. Nestle it between your thighs. Careful. Be gentle. Be tender. But I want you to get that block up high in between your thighs so your adductors are well connected. And then I'm going to have you squeeze that block with everything you've got. Square your feet, spread your toes, bring your palms together, a soft clasp to your fingers. Inhale, drop into Utkatasana as the elbows float up. Stay in Utkatasana. Exhale, arms forward, chin to chest. Keep squeezing that block. Breathing in, spin your palms, take your arms up. Stay in Utkatasana in the lower body. And breathing out, bring your hands back together. Let's do that one more time. Stay low, belly firm. Inhale, elbows up, squeeze that block. Exhale, arms forward, chin down. Inhale, spin your palms up. And exhale, hands to your heart, slowly straighten your legs. Keep squeezing your block. Bring your arms down. 5 deep breaths. Hug that block with all you got. Slowing the breath down. For these last 2 breaths, bring your hands, place one hand to your chest and the other one on top. For these final 2 breaths in standing, feel your heartbeat, feel your chest rise, feel the breath pulsing through your body. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze that block. Excellent. And bring your arms down. Beautiful. Remove the block. I'm going to set the block down onto the floor and you're going to have a seat on your bum. Woo! We're sitting down now. Yay! Love this part when we sit. Okay, I'm still going to face the long edge of the mat. So starting out with knees bent and feet to the floor. I'm going to have you drop your right knee to the mat. Pull your right heel in towards your left hip, maybe even a little out to the side. And then door number 1 is to keep your left foot just to the inside of your right knee. Door number 2 is to cross the left foot over the right knee. Your call. Wherever you go, I want you to keep both of your sitting bones planted, rooted. They're ischial tuberosities, so think plant those tubers into the mat. You can walk your left fingertips to the floor behind you. And then let's inhale and take your right arm up. Let's stay here for just another breath as you lift through your right ribs and up through your right arm. I want your fingers together, please. I also want you to descend through your outer right hip. Excellent. And now we'll wrap the right elbow around the front of the left knee and begin turning slowly to the left. Now, the classic variation is to take the right elbow to the outside of the left knee, but for the sake of harnessing vata and all of the electric and erratic energy of vata, I'm going to invite you today to keep the elbow wrapped around so there's even more contact of arm to leg. And one of the things I like to do is with my right hand, grab a hold of my pant leg. And that kind of gives me a little leverage. Good. Shear the outer left hip down. Lift your left ribs up. And inch your left shoulder back. At the same time, turn your head to the right. And notice if you got light on your left foot, especially around the big toe. We're going to make strong contact. Foot to mat, toe to mat. Excellent. Let's slowly unwind, unravel. And if you've got your left foot across your right knee, bring it over once again. Then I'm going to have you bring your right heel right about to your pelvic floor. Take your left leg out to the left on a diagonal. Not concerned with how far it goes, irrelevant. But I do want you to have your right fingertips to the floor, to the outside of your right hip. And inch your left fingertips forward as we come into a forward bend. Now the idea is to come straight down over your right heel. It's going to be really tempting to veer off to the right knee. I want you to stay rooted through your left sitting bone, heavy through your left femur. And only come down to the degree that you can keep your sternum straight down the midline. Your right fingertips and your right arm act like a little bit of a kickstand to keep inching you, nudging you, leaning you into your left hip, left leg. Stay a couple more breaths, getting into the low back and the sacrum. Great. And begin to walk your left hand back towards your mat. And with the help of your left hand underneath your left knee, pull your left knee up. And we're going to come into Sukhasana, or easy pose, kind of cross-legged pose. I want your left shin to be in front of your right shin. So in Sukhasana, the shins are stacked, one directly behind the other. If you are familiar with fire log pose and you'd like to stack your left shin on top of your right shin, you may do that as well. I'd like you to keep your feet and knees in the same plane, like stacked one on top of the other. And then we're going to inhale, fingertips to the floor on either side of your hips so that you can lift your torso tall. And on the exhalation, come forward. Maybe that's just fingertips to the floor. Some of you might take forearms to the floor. But let's hang for 5 deep breaths. Flexing feet. This is a really good opportunity to check in with your jaw, like, toggle your mandible back and forth a few times. One more breath. Terrific. And bring your hands back to your hips. Rock back on your hips enough so that you can unpack everything. And we're going to repeat those same 3 shapes now on the second side, starting with the twist, right? So that means left heel comes just to the outside of your right hip. So deep bend, deep flexion in your left knee. Right foot to the floor, either just to the inside of your left knee or cross it over. Keep those sit bones firmly grounded. Right fingertips to the floor behind you, using that like a kickstand. Let's take the left arm up. Keep your fingers together. Don't agitate any more air and space. Fingers together. Keep that connection. Left hip down, left ribs up. Good. And then you'll wrap your left elbow around the front of your right knee. Hug that leg in close. Bring that inner right thigh in towards the belly as you turn the sternum to the right. Turn your head to the left. So how about this? Without looking at your right foot, can you tell if the 4 corners of your right foot are planted to the floor, or are you kind of leaning into the outer edge? And then give your foot some instruction. Invite your toes to participate as well. Every part of you contributes to the asana. And I wonder if you got light on your right sitting bone. You're kind of leaning into the left. I want you to really root down through that right hip. About 2 more breaths. Excellent. And then slowly let yourself unwind. Ooh-wee. Uncross your right leg if it's crossed over the left knee. And then we're going to draw the left heel to the pelvic floor. Take your right leg out to the right. Good. Establish yourself firmly on both halves of your pelvis. Keep your left fingertips out to the left to avoid this tendency to veer off to the left. And then on an exhale, simply start walking your right fingertips forward, taking your right arm forward, and bringing your torso over your left foot. You know, some of you might want to reach out and grab a hold of your right foot or your right ankle. You're welcome to do that. One more breaths. Awesome. And then begin to lift yourself up, please. We come into Sukhasana or fire log pose next, Agni Stambhasana. So that means sitting cross-legged first with right shin in front of left shin, feet and knees lined up, or right shin on top of left shin. Your call. Fingertips to the floor on either side of your hips. Anchor down as you lift up through your ribs. And then exhale, come forward. Not so much about depth as it is about sensation. Not so much about aesthetics at all, as it is about what you feel, where you feel, how you feel, and whether or not you're holding your breath or grinding your teeth or chewing the sides of your tongue off. Good. So how about while you're down here, whatever low is for you while you're in this forward bend, how about opening your mouth really wide and sticking your tongue out? And pull your tongue back in and close your mouth. And then lift yourself up. Ooh-wee. Great. Rock back enough so that you can unpack your legs. Bring your knees together, feet on the floor. And I want you to make a quarter turn either way, up to you, and roll onto your back. Sweet mother. Yes, we're almost there. Come onto your back, hug your knees into your chest. Do what feels natural, do what feels good. You want to stay still? Stay still. You want to rock? Rock. You want to roll? Roll, baby. Okay. Next up is a supine variation of Gomukhasana, just in the legs. So what that means is right thigh crosses all the way over left thigh. And then keep hugging your knees in close. So you can hold on to your knees or hold on to your shins. Some of you might want to grab your ankles and draw your ankles out apart from one another, out towards the sides of your mat, almost like you're twisty tying your legs. Great. Good. Keep your right thigh over your left thigh, but let go of your legs or your ankles and bring your left foot to the floor. And now we're just going to drop the knees over to the left and come into a twist. And then I want you to just maneuver, manipulate, adjust, move your body around so that this twist feels supportive. Maybe that means putting a block underneath your left leg, your left knee. You can take your right arm out to the right, or you can bend the right arm like a cactus. I kind of like how that feels in my shoulder girdle, but you do you. We've spent, the majority of this practice working hips, pelvis, and expansion, right? Expansion through the legs, expansion through the feet. And there's so much more to cover and discover around apana vayu. So many more places we can go, both physically and energetically. But for our practice today, it's just about moving the energy from being upright and vertical, expanding then, and slowly making our way down, 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 down. So these last several minutes are all about just being slow, being nourishing, staying as connected to the floor with as many parts and pieces of you as possible. And I would also add, your inner thighs are probably a little quivery. Give permission to just that's why I like the use of the block underneath the knee, because it gives the inner thighs permission to kind of like just stop working so much. Take one more breath in this supine twist. And then slowly pull yourself up. Uncross your legs and bring both knees to your chest for a moment. Just notice how you feel. Hips, low back, sacrum. And then cross left leg over right leg. And we'll start out with Gomukhasana, right? So thigh to thigh. And you can just hug your knees in, or you can take a hold of your ankles if you'd like. And keeping thighs connected, you can draw the ankles apart if you'd like. And set your right foot to the floor. And prepare to drop your knees over to the right. And again, just any shape, any variation of this twist that you'd like to make your way into. Choose the one that is the least stress, the least effort, the least amount of effort. Maybe a block underneath the right leg somewhere. Terrific. And bring your knees back up. Go slow. And pull your knees into your chest one more time, uncrossing your legs. Good. And then I'm going to have you put the block between your thighs one more time. We're not going to work really hard, I promise. Just set the block between your thighs and then send your heels to the ceiling for Supta Dandasana. Legs straight up. You don't have to hug hard, but just the inner thighs finding the block, making connection to the block, bringing everything back to symmetry. After moving right side, left side. Good. Arms can be at your sides or out like a T or up over your head. Beautiful. And then if you'll bend your knees, please, you can set the block to the floor. And then pull knees to chest. I want you to cup your hands over your knees so your fingers move down towards your shins. And as you inhale, press your legs, your knees away from you. Away from you just until your arms go straight. Keeping that contact, palms to knees. And as you exhale, pull your knees back to your chest. Apanasana. And then 4 more times, just moving slow. Inhale, press away, gently pumping the belly. And exhaling, knees to chest. Great, keep rolling a couple more times. Subtle, very subtle, soft arch to the back as you inhale. And then compressing, depressing softly the lumbar spine into the mat as you exhale. Nothing too wild. Excellent. Bring your feet to the floor. Let your knees knock inward and press against one another. Take your feet a little wider. And then one hand to your lower belly, one hand to your chest, or maybe your low ribs, whatever feels more natural for you. With eyes closed. Settling the prana. Imagine for a moment, if you would, that your skin is kind of the boundary for the prana. Your skin is the container. And all the motion, the movement, taking place internally, the activation of muscles, the pumping of fluids, the compressing and releasing of organs and glands, the strengthening of bones and ligaments. All the while with the heart pumping, the breath moving. The snow in the snow globe has been shaken. The winds of vata have all been activated. And now it's time to settle. And just breathing deep, breathing slow, nothing fancy, no surprises. Moving the breath underneath the hand at your belly, moving the breath underneath your hand at your ribs or your chest. Prana is at its best, is at its most effective when it is contained. Otherwise, it can be much like a wild horse, a feral dog. But with training, with boundaries, with parameters, its strength and its contribution are limitless. I want you to take 3 more breaths like this, just deep and slow, rich and full, lingering on the exhale. And then without disturbing this prana, make your way into the shavasana of your choice. So either staying right where you are or taking your legs down onto the floor. You might want to shift over to the wall or climb up onto a sofa. Anything goes. Maybe taking seated meditation for the next 8 minutes. You're about 7.5 minutes. Wrap yourselves up in blankets or sweatshirts, put on your fuzzy socks. And then drop. Drop energy, drop muscle, drop bone, drop eyes deeper into their sockets. Drop into the comfort, the cushion, and the support, the sort of an embrace of your cushion or your mat, the embrace of the earth. And begin to deepen your inhalations. Take those exhalations all the way down to your fingers and to your toes and begin to move your digits. And you can stretch through your arms and your legs in whatever shape or direction feels just right for you. And of course, that your space allows. And then you can visualize your pathway to sitting if you're not already there. And then once you have it in your eyes, make it so. Pulling knees up, finding your place either on the floor or coming up into a chair or onto a cushion. I'm going to explore a different mantra today than we've done in the past. This is considered the Guru Brahma mantra. Brahma is in the Hindu trilogy. Brahma is the creator, Vishnu is the sustainer, and Shiva, Mahashwara, Shiva is the destroyer. This mantra, from what I understand, was created by a Hindu mystic way back in the day. I can't say his name. And anyway, it's used often as an expression of gratitude for gurus, for Brahma, Vishnu, and Shiva, but also here in the West, as we so often do, we kind of cultivate it to make it our own. And in the West, we use it as a way to acknowledge and send appreciation and gratitude to all of our spiritual teachers, both alive and no longer living on the earth, whether that's a four-legged or a two-legged or a guild or any sort of spiritual teacher. So this is a chant of reverence, of gratitude. Guru Brahma, Guru Vishnu, Guru Devo, Maheshvara. The W's and the V's are similar depending on if it's Hindi or Tamil. Guru Sakshat Parabrahma Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. So there you go, kind of a mouthful, but I'll sing it through 3 times and you can just jump in anytime if you'd like. No pressure ever, of course. Bring your palms together to your heart. And take a breath in. Exhale all the way. And then breathing in. Guru Brahma, Guru Vishnu, Guru Devo, Maheshvara, Guru Sakshat, Parabrahma, Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Guru Brahma, Guru Vishnu, Guru Devo, Maheshvara, Guru Sakshat, Parabrahma, Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Guru Brahma, Vishnu, Guru Devo, Maheshvara, Guru Sakshat, Parabrahma, Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. And then bring your base of your thumbs to your forehead. Gratitude for the mind. Bring your fingertips to your lips. Gratitude to the breath and the expression of prana. And bring your hands to your heart. Gratitude for the heart, its tenderness and its strength. Thank you so much for joining me and the others on the screen this morning. Appreciate it. Great practice.